So I've heard that you want to stay consistent on a routine and you want to actually have a routine where you wake up every day and you just know what to do. That after 2 days, you don't give up on your routine. I know a lot of people struggle with this, especially when they first get on self-improvement with Islam. They're all excited for a brand new routine, but after 2 days, they fail and then they just go back to their old life. And this is especially one of the turning points for a lot of people, is that they want to get on self-improvement and they do. The issue is when they get on self-improvement, they give up after 2 days and then they just think self-improvement doesn't work out for them. They think that they cannot change, and that's a big issue because we need to have self-improvement. Our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in many hadiths that we have to be excellent at whatever we do, whether that's school, whether that's business, whatever that is. We cannot be excellent at life, we cannot be excellent at managing our time if we don't have a daily routine to follow through. The issue is, it's hard to wake up to a 5:30 a.m. morning routine that you see all the time on YouTube. I made many detailed daily routine videos, so I'm not going to be going over how to make a routine, but what I'm going to be showing you in this video is how you can stick to the routine that you've made. So before we start, I want you to kind of think about this. Why do you think you gave up after 2 days? See, you want to change mentally. You watch a lot of Andrew Tate videos, probably you watch a lot of Egypt Turk, maybe you watch a lot of Halal Mu'ad, people that are on the grind, that have their life in order. You watch them, you want to imitate them. However, whenever you do imitate one of their routines, you give up after 2 days. The reason is probably because you're just too comfortable with the life you're living right now. You see, psychologically, you're probably just afraid of changing. You're probably afraid of embracing a new self. And this goes back to, as your psychology. Now, I'm not a psychology student, nor am I a psychology graduate, but what I've learned is that your body doesn't like changing. Your mind doesn't want to change. Your mind is kind of happy with the way it is, and every time you try to bring a change, it thinks, it's like a survival mechanism that kicks in. Like your mind wants to stay the way it is, and the way you're going to be beating that bluntly is through discipline. You have to get through your mind. However, that is a lot easier said than done. So hopefully these 5 tips that I'm going to be sharing with you might really help you with that. So the most important thing that you need to take away from this video is to have an identity. See, as I said, your mind does not want to change. But for example, someone like Cristiano Ronaldo that is already on the grind 24/7, he just kind of wakes up early, he just kind of works out all day, he's just working hard all day throughout the day because his mind has just gotten to that identity of working hard. He has the same psychological traits as you. Again, his mind does not want to change. His mind is just at a different identity. His mind is okay with working hard because he's been doing it for so many years, and that's just his life. It's his identity. That's just what he does. For example, when you wake up to brush your teeth, you don't have to think about it, or it's not something that you change. It's just part of your identity. You wake up and you brush. So you need to be creating some sort of identity with yourself that can tell your mind, no, I'm already this person on self-improvement. I'm already someone who's on the deen. You need to tell yourself that I am just someone who just wakes up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning with no questions asked, because that's just what I do. It's the same thing as brushing the teeth. It's the same thing as eating food. You don't think about it, right? Something you just do. What are the steps to actually reaching that? Well, number one is actually creating a daily routine that prioritizes on growth. You see, you need to be having a daily routine where you're growing every single day, and it's part of your identity to be growing every single day. For example, you have an identity of someone who's already on high iman, someone who's a machine, someone who's amazingly just does his work. For example, you believe that you have the identity of someone like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which was, he took his every single moment of time he had, it was meaningful because he is a perfect role model for us. In order for you to reach the successes that you want to reach, for example, getting good grades, you know that you have to sit down and learn. So make sure that you prioritize your daily routine focusing on growth. The number 2 thing that you can do on your self-routine in order to stay consistent is to actually do things constantly that you can just do on a daily basis. For example, things like journaling every single morning for 5 minutes a day. Things like, for example, praying or salat, which is something you have to be doing nonetheless. Things like reading Quran every single morning. Things like that. You want to be writing that down on your daily routine because these are things you can constantly be doing without that much effort. Number 3 is going to be make the daily routine extremely accessible. And this is something that I used to struggle with, is that, I would write the daily routine, last night. But the issue was that the next day, I would forget that I even had a daily routine. Like, it would be so hard for me to see it while I'm definitely at school, when I'm talking to others. I would completely forget that I had a daily routine going on, that I had time blocks for each thing. You might find that a little extreme, having time blocks for each single second every day. But for me, it's just a way of staying discipline is a way of letting my brain know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing at a specific time. It just manages your time. You don't want to be running around with no purpose with your time. So when I used to easily forget it, I would completely forget about my daily routine, and it would be like 3-4 days until I come back to the daily routine that I wrote up. So you want to make sure that your daily routine is easily accessible. For me, I use the app Notes, right? The Apple app Notes is the easiest way. The Notes app has everything that you can need, right? You can create a timetable, you can write down your timings for each hour or each few hours with the tasks that you're supposed to be doing at that time. And I really recommend the Notes app because you can quickly go on your phone, check it, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, boom, 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 khalas, you get straight to work. Number 4 is going to be figure what kind of man or what kind of woman you would be if you finish that work. What kind of Muslim would you be? Like your dream self, someone that you aspire to be. Write that down. What kind of man would do this kind of routine? Your dream person. I would really write it down, talk the details, do the routine. Think of yourself as that person already. Think of yourself as doing this routine will get me to becoming that person. For that person, the routine you're doing is completely normal. So you want to put yourself in an authoritative figure where this routine is just something you just do. It's just yourself now. It's like eating food, or it's like brushing your teeth, or it's like going to the toilet. You just kind of do it, and that leads to what kind of identity would you take. So this comes to a lot about identity, and let me go down why it's so important with identity. Is because, for example, you have a routine but you're new to self-improvement. So now you think of yourself as new to self-improvement and you're not confident in self-improvement. If you came across an obstacle, if you thought about it in your shoes, someone who's not confident in self-improvement, you wouldn't be able to fix the obstacle and you would almost give up. Say you had an obstacle, but you had the identity of someone who's already in self-improvement and he had many obstacles before. The moment you try to fix the obstacle or make a decision, it would be a lot easier for you because you're already on self-improvement. It's something you just innately know what to do. Or as another better example I can think of is, for example, say you had the urge to do a really bad habit. Now, if you're new to self-improvement, you would have that urge and you would probably give in to your urges. But if you had the identity of someone who's already disciplined, who's already so mentally strong to the point where if the urge came, you knew that your identity would just let that urge go, you wouldn't do anything about the urge and you would just keep going, then it would be a lot easier to make a decision that, you know what, I'm already on self-improvement, I don't really care about this urge, it'll go away anyways. And those are the 5 steps that really helped me. Hopefully these 5 quick steps did really help you. The fact is, we're all human, so we're all going to be falling down. We're not always going to feel like doing work. We're not always going to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. However, you have to understand that we're human and that even the people you see on the internet do make a lot of mistakes. They have days where they don't feel like doing anything. Trust me, they do have those days. And the most important thing I would say is that, in order to grow, you must sacrifice. The moment you sacrifice something that is holding you down is the moment you take another step to a new level. Think of the people like Malcolm X or our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They had to sacrifice their own sort of identity or their own honor towards their tribe or towards their clan or towards the people around their life, and they had to risk their life to some extent in order to grow. Now you have the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is our greatest role model, the greatest man to ever walk foot on this earth. Now he is the most influential leader in human history. He went from risking his life to preaching Islam, to Quraysh, hating him, and now he's the most influential leader in history. In order to grow, you must sacrifice and you must take a risk. You must do something that is out of your comfort zone in order for you to grow. And this is such cliche advice, but most people don't do it, and that's why most people are stuck. You have to break free of something. If you're just in a hole, you have to punch something, you have to get a hole out in order to succeed. And of course, it's all the qadr of Allah, but you have to show Allah why you're worthy of being someone who's deserving of more risk, why you're worthy of being someone who is, who is on the deen, who is fully, going to be a devoted Muslim to Allah. So inshallah, may Allah help you follow these steps. May Allah help you on your self-improvement journey. And again, if you're truly new to self-improvement journey, I make dua for you that you stick to it, because it's not just about self-improvement, it's about being the best Muslim possible, pleasing Allah to the best of your ability. That's our only goal and the only purpose in this dunya. So may Allah allow you to succeed. Inshallah, I'll see you again on the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.